Hi there, welcome to Taipei, Taiwan. 新年快乐, Happy New Year. It's the second day of the new year and I'm outside of the Longshan temple here in Wunhao district in Taipei. This is a very historic district, I'll tell you about it a little bit. And this is the Longshan temple, probably one of the most famous temples in Taipei for sure, and definitely in Taiwan. And there's still thousands that are coming out here to pray for the new year. And many, of course, have thoughts in their mind for the people of Tainan, especially the people trapped in the building right now that they're trying to get out, that have been there for 3 days now. It's terrible, but they're still pulling people alive out of the building, thankfully. I'm John Sabot, FarEastAdvTravl in Taipei, Taiwan. I travel all over Asia. I produce a couple of podcasts on iTunes and FarEastAdvTravl.com, and I'm here in Taipei right now. Hello, Vancouver, BC, my hometown. How are you? And thank you for joining me here in wonderful Taipei. It's a beautiful day, I have to tell you. It's sunny, it's warm, it's the first day I in a long time that I've been able to walk around with just a long sleeve shirt on. I've got a t-shirt and long sleeve shirt on. And if I miss a comment or anything, I apologize. I've got a really high glare on my screen right now. So I'm going to do my best to respond to you, but there's going to be times where I do apologize if I miss a comment or something or a question. But this is traditionally everybody likes to come out the first day of the Lunar New Year, which was yesterday, and during the week to go to the temple and pray and start their year off right. And this is the entrance to the first courtyard of the temple. And you see there's lots of people here. This is the mayor, actually, of Taipei. And he is here right now, and everybody is gathered around. And this was his visit today. That is the mayor of Taipei. And as you can see, everybody's crowded around. And I actually had a chance to meet him before he was mayor. Maybe I could go say hello. Hello. Hey, 新年快乐. And as you can see, he's a very popular guy. Hello. Oh, Happy New Year! 新年快乐，新年快乐。And of course, the politicians here absolutely draw huge crowds. And he is the mayor of Taipei City. And he's going this way now. And this is outside the Longshan temple. And totally unplanned. I had no idea he was here. So this is the mayor of Taipei City. There's a mayor of New Taipei City, which is the surrounding area, and the mayor of Taipei City, which is the Taipei proper, the center, the main center of the whole Taipei metropolis, metropolitan area. And so he's making his way through the crowd. Everybody wants to get a picture with him or shake his hand, wish him a Happy New Year. And he's actually a doctor as well. In his other profession or former profession. Now he's the mayor. Yeah. And so let's head into the temple now. Yeah, I think he must be tired. You're absolutely right. I would think so. Those people, he probably was doing that the whole time he was here in the temple. But you can see the significance of this place. and it's a gorgeous temple. It was the real renovation was 1924 when they expanded it and kind of made it into this really posh, more of a architecturally beautiful complex, and it really is a beautiful temple. It was a lot of it was destroyed in 1945. The Allied forces had bombed here, suspecting the Japanese were hiding missiles. I don't know if they ever did find any here, but anyways, that's another story. They actually repaired it right after World War II, and it's a gorgeous temple inside, and is the place where people come definitely during the Lunar New Year week. And most people, today's a Tuesday, most people have the whole week off if they work in offices or businesses or government or anything. Retail's open, but a lot of shops have closed up for the week. A lot of cafe shops, restaurants just close the whole week, or they just have very short hours. That's why there's so many people around. And of course, they want to get their prayers and wishes in for the new year, and many things that they'll wish for are, good health, of course, prosperity, and good luck. And some will wish for a baby or a spouse. There's certain temples that you go to just for those things as well. I was at a temple yesterday that there's a god of pregnancy, and women that are pregnant will go there to pray to make sure that they have a healthy delivery. And this is the lineup into the main sort of center courtyard. Hey Claire, how are you? Welcome back. Thanks so much. Claire's awesome. She's from Paris, and she's originally from New Zealand, right? And she's fluent in French, and she does marvelous scopes from Paris. She's one of the top periscopers for sure, and live from Paris. So very cool. Thank you. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for inviting your followers as well. Really super easy to do. Just swipe the screen left to right on iOS and up on Android, and then just hit share or tap the corner little figure in the corner and hit share that way too. It's a massive lineup here. It was very, very crowded yesterday, the first day of the year, which is the most popular day to come. But I don't recall if I've been here on the second day before, but it is absolutely, there's thousands of people at this temple. And everybody's well behaved. It's not any craziness here or anything. There's a couple of altars outside. Hey, Russia. There's a couple of altars outside that are related to the zodiac year, the year of the monkey. This is the year of the monkey. And so you'll see people passing under that altar there with the big monkey figure. And there's some like Taiwan dollar notes underneath there for good luck and prosperity. Hey, hi, Saudi, and so you'll see the lineups for that, and so there's two altars here. This one is kind of more centric on money, and it has some big NT dollar notes there. That's a 2000 NT dollar bill, which would be about 75 American dollars, and you don't see too many of those circulating. Actually, you can go to the bank and get one, but I've actually never gotten one in circulation. Usually it's 1,000 is the highest note. So it's a year of the monkey. So there's 12 zodiac animals in the zodiac calendar. So they take a turn each year. So last year it was the goat or sheep, and the year before it was a horse, and this year it's a monkey. And they call it the red fire monkey because it's also the element. There's 5 elements, and there's an element associated with each year. And this year it's fire, so they call it the fire monkey. But it's not necessarily the most luckiest year, and they say there will be some challenges. The Chinese consider the monkey kind of mischievous and fun, but mischievous. So there's some certain things that you have to watch. But they have people that you can go to, and they will read your calendar, and they will tell you which days are good for you, which days are lucky, and you can actually go online and see all of these things as well if you're a monkey. Or if you have a baby in the year of the monkey. Oh, there. So sorry if I missed your question. If you said something, you can give me a shout out where you are, and I'll say hi to you. This is the main courtyard. So I'm going to speak a little bit softly here. Oh yeah, definitely. There's hope if you have a monkey, if you are a monkey, Claire. There's some very successful, famous monkeys out there. So it's quite the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was a monkey. I mean, there's lots of very successful, famous people that are monkeys. So doesn't mean it's bad. You might be having a monkey. It's funny. This is the main courtyard. So that where you see the smoke coming out from is where the people go to pray. One of the places that people go to pray, and they use incense here to pray with, and the incense is used, the smoke from it is used to communicate to the gods. So they believe that smoke helps to transmit messages to gods. So that's why you see people with incense sticks here, and they go there, they'll make their prayers, and then they'll plant one stick there. Yeah, you can take a screenshot by all means. I'm going to get another classic shot of the temple here. And that's the main structure of the Longshan temple here. Isn't that beautiful? It's a beautiful day here too. It's very warm. A lot of people just have shirts on, long shirts on. And inside is Guanyin, is the Buddhist deity of compassion. She's a goddess and very well revered all over Taiwan. They have statues of her everywhere. So this is in the Longshan temple, and that particular deity survived the bombings here. So this whole courtyard here was on fire and was bombed during World War II, and the deity inside was completely unscarred, unblemished. So this is a very much makes this god and statue here very auspicious. So people really revere it because of that. Very powerful. And the censer that you see there, further away, is just in front of the Guanyin statue. And then the people that face in our direction, the direction I'm looking towards right now, will probably be praying to the Jade God, which is the most powerful god, and it's usually the last god that you pray to before you leave the temple. Oh, thanks so much, Claire. Thank you. It's still very crowded today. So many people would have had other obligations yesterday, maybe can't make it or had to travel or things like that. So there's still thousands of people here at this temple in the very historic Wunhao district. And if you missed earlier, you can watch the replay. We had the mayor of Taipei on, or at least I was scoping him as he was coming out and greeting everybody. Hello, Singapore. Hey, how are you? I've watched your scopes. You're awesome. Thank you. Thanks for joining me. That lady, follow that lady. You put your name up again. It's Christina. Is Christine? Sorry. I know I've watched your stuff from Singapore before. You're fabulous. Thanks for joining me. Say hi again, and then people can follow you in Singapore. She does great periscopes from Singapore, and Singapore has a 2-day holiday after the weekend. So there you are. That's right. Yeah. 2 days. Yeah. Thanks. MECBC. Follow her. She's great. Singapore has 2 days for Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year, and Taiwan has 5 days. So and for many people, it's the whole week. Like they had this last weekend off. For people that are really lucky, they had this last weekend off, and then they have the whole week off, and then they have the weekend off again. And oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, of course, Claire's awesome. And this is the main center, and then they added on to this temple afterwards. So this started out as a Buddhist temple, and then a lot of merchants here that had some money that were originally from southern China, Fujian province, wanted to pray to their gods here as well. Their folk gods, like Mazu, the goddess of the sea, and she is revered all over the island. There's so many Mazu temples. So there's a Mazu temple in the back that these people gave to the temple here. They gave them money. Excuse me. Thank you. They gave them money to make this temple so they could. So it's a multi-denominational temple. So many temples actually in Taiwan are multi-denominational. So people from that are Buddhist or Taoist or follow folk religion gods can come and pray all together, and it just makes it really beautiful. That synergy. It's so much like, to me, like Nepal. And these are two of my favorite places in Asia because of, these religions bring people together, and there's parallels between Hinduism and Buddhism in Nepal. So there's many things that are shared. And Happy New Year to you, Jinyan Kuai Le. And this is what makes Taiwan so nice, and it's so nice to come here. I remember the first time I came to this temple. It was the first temple I ever visited. Jindian Temple is awesome. I'm going to try to get down there as well. I love Jindian Temple. Jindian Gong. The first time, this is the first temple I ever came to in Taiwan, in Taipei here. And I remember coming here, and it was so relaxed, and I was taking pictures, and nobody cared. You don't have to take your shoes off in these temples. Maybe some of the really strict, more traditional Buddhist temples here, you would still have to take your shoes off, but you don't have to take your shoes off here. It's open to everybody. There's no restrictions on any of the places that you go to. You just have to obviously be respectful. And here you have it. This is in front of the main structure of the Longshan Temple, and then I'm just going to walk in behind. And it's still very crowded here, but it was definitely a little more crowded yesterday. But hey, the mayor was here earlier. That was pretty cool. So watch the replay if you want to see the mayor of Taipei. And if you tap the screen, you get monkeys. You're the monkey. So thank you for the hearts and the monkeys. So these have all kinds of different gods in here. There's a god of literature in one of these sections that people will come to and pray to if they're having an exam, going through school or something like that. And the main god in the back here, goddess, is Mazu, and this is where you see all the people crowded around praying to Mazu. So you would pray to her for a lot of things, but because she is the goddess of the sea, maybe if you're taking a trip or something, or if you're going swimming somewhere, because some of the swimming here is dangerous, you might want to pray to Mazu first. And so that's why a lot of people are gathered around here, but very, very well revered god in Taiwan. And this was added after that. The original building was 1740, the first temple, Longshan Temple, that was built here. And it's in a really interesting neighborhood. There used to be a red light district here. But they banned prostitution in Taiwan in the 1990s. Yeah, 1740. They banned prostitution in the 1990s. There is still a bit of I'll just call it a seniors red light district here. And there's some interesting characters around here. And the earthquake people felt the earthquake here, but there was no damage it appears there's no damage anywhere around the Taipei area or northern Taiwan. It's southern Taiwan right now, and the concern right now, which I wanted to talk about again, is there's 100 people still trapped in these buildings that they're trying to get out, and they're still pulling people alive out of the buildings. They pulled a lady out yesterday, and she was clinging to her husband and child. They were all clinging together, but the husband and the child died, so they pulled her out while she was still underneath the husband. And it's just so sad. And there's a lot of questions now about the integrity of this structure, if it was built properly, because it's the only building in the area that's collapsed. All the other buildings around it are fine. So it's very, very sad right now. But they're hoping it's going on 3 days now. So it's getting very, very, very serious. Whether they can still pull survivors out, but there's 100 people that are still trapped that they're trying to get out right now down in Tainan. So that's where the worst of it has. So and trust me, it's on the minds of a lot of people here in Taiwan. A lot of people are really feeling for the people of Tainan right now. Yeah, they said that there was. Yeah, they showed on BBC. They showed the oil cans that they'd used. And they use. It's bad, but it's not as bad as you think. They use styrofoam now in those places. So they used to use tin cans, and it wasn't illegal before 1999. So they use foam now. So nobody's sure if that's the reason why. It's just that they discovered these oil cans, but they used to use these in buildings prior to 1999. So hi, 新年快乐. So nobody knows yet. So we'll see. As a filler, I guess, like they use foam now as like an insulation or a filler in the walls. So I don't know if those tin cans were actually used to actually prop up the building, but however, I mean, it still could make it structurally not very sound, but they use foam in the place that they use those tin cans now. So nobody knows for sure. They won't know until they do a complete investigation, but I'm certainly, when you see that, it's pretty shocking that, there was something in the structure, like an oil can was used in the integrity of the structure, so. Well, thank you, and I hope that your thoughts and prayers are. There's so many things in the news right now, especially in Asia, but I tell you, these people that are trapped there right now, we just all hope here that they are, they can pull the rest of these people out safely. They had to bury a tunnel with cranes or with backhoes. They actually built a tunnel right through this building so they could get the search and rescue people access quicker. But anyways, if you're just joining me, we're in the Longshan Temple here in Taipei. This is one of the biggest, most important temples in the whole city and in northern Taiwan. Very significant temple. They say, okay, and I don't know if there's truth to this, that China has a number of missiles pointed at Taiwan in case Taiwan becomes, wants to break away in a more aggressive manner. And they say that there's actually missiles pointed at the Longshan Temple. I don't know how true that is, but I've read that before. And I'm going to get another viewpoint. I'm just going to get around these people here. I'm not find a nice spot here to show you, which is a really nice view. It's the classic view. Hey there, hi. Thanks for joining me. 谢谢. And just going to squeeze around here and get a nice little view. This is the main altar of Mazu, and then below here is the classic view of the main courtyard here of the Longshan Temple. And I'm just going to swing around here, and there we go, perfect. So again, this is oh, you're welcome, Claire. Thank you for joining me and inviting your followers. Yeah, very, very sad about the earthquake, absolutely. And it is definitely on the thoughts of a lot of people today. I don't know if you didn't see a real monkey. No, you might have. I don't think there's any carved monkeys here that I've ever seen. Lots of dragons and warriors and gods. So this is a multi-denominational temple, they call it. So the Buddhist, Taoist, folk religion followers come here. Earthquakes are very common in Taiwan. They happen all the time. There was another one, I think early this morning, a 5.1 off of Hualien on the east coast, where a lot of them are centered on. But I've not heard if that's caused any damage or anything. I don't think so. So you get these frequently, very frequently. I mean, I usually feel one at least once every couple of weeks or so, sometimes a little bit more frequent. So it's not unusual, but this one was fairly strong, 6.4, but it was also inland, it wasn't offshore, and it was closer to the surface than regularly, than many of them are. So there was a few factors that made a more impact. And so this building, if it was not well built, obviously all those factors, and the fact that it was in that same area, this is why that particular building collapsed. I've been here off and on for just coming up to 3 years now. I travel around a lot. I first came here in 2013, and I spent a couple of months here, and then I went away, and then I came back, and I've been here ever since. But I spend a lot of the year outside of Taiwan as well, traveling around Asia. So I'm all over Asia, in India, Nepal. I'll be in Thailand next month, and but Taiwan is where I am a lot, and I spend a lot of time here. Oh, thanks so much, Claire. Thank you. You're just awesome. Thank you. Make sure you follow Claire in Paris. You've only been to Shanghai. Oh, you know, honestly, I haven't been to Shanghai. I've been to Beijing. Have not been to Shanghai yet. Thanks, Claire. Bye. Beijing, from many people I know that visit Shanghai a lot, Beijing has more classic architecture, I think, than Shanghai does. But Shanghai is a very modern city, an exciting city to visit for sure. But bring a mask with you. No, I've been in Taiwan since Christmas, but thanks. I'll probably be in Thailand next month for a bit, and then I'll travel around Southeast Asia before coming back here. Probably Chiang Mai. I'll start in Chiang Mai and maybe spend some time in the north. Taiwanese food is really amazing because it's a lot of different cuisines brought together, and there's their own specialties here, and there's a lot of Chinese, like Shanghainese things, Fujianese things, well, I'll try to get to Bangkok too on your recommendation. So the food is here. The food's great. Japanese food here, amazing Japanese food. There's all kinds of really, really good food here. CNN voted it the #1 food destination in the world last year. They had a viewers poll. And a lot of people in the know around Asia come to Taiwan to eat. I don't know if the political situation has settled down much in Thailand. I think it's all kind of a little fishy there. I'm not fishy, but I mean it's I think the military is still pretty much in control, right? So I'm not so sure. But I met people there that this life goes on. So this is the main courtyard of the Longshan Temple in Taipei. It's one of the most visited temples for sure during the Lunar New Year festival and celebrations. And I'll be scoping from all around Taiwan for some of these celebrations in the south and the north. And the next one I'll probably be at will be the Sky Lantern Festival in Pingxi, which is just absolutely beautiful, amazing. And I'm going to take a walk outside and show you outside, and then outside the temple again. And I think I'm going to go this way. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me here. And thanks for the monkeys. It's Chinese New Year. It's the year of the monkey. So if you tap the screen, you get monkeys. It's magic. Quake was 6.4. 6.4, and it was fairly close to the surface as quakes go. And it was inland. It wasn't an offshore one. We get many offshore ones here in Taiwan. A lot of them off the coast, east coast, and we had another one here. I think I'm not sure, maybe 20 kilometers, but that's I've read or was told that that's fairly shallow compared to many others. And this is the lineup for these special altars that they have here every year for the zodiac character. And everybody wants to get underneath that for some good luck. Of course, everybody wants a year of good health and prosperity. And this is outside the temple. Very similar to the Christchurch quake. Okay, I might have heard that. And this is just outside on the main street here, and you'll see some of the monks or nuns that will they'll have their bowls for donations all along the street here. And there's only about less than 5% Christian population in Taiwan. And Thank you for joining me. It is many people think that it's mostly a Buddhist country here, but many people live and pray to Buddhist deities here. But it's not necessarily just Buddhism. It's Buddhism, Taoism, and folk religion. Well, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me, and I'm going to try to make it around to some of the other temples. But before we go, I'm just going to start walking towards this night market around here. There's some kind of well-known markets around here. There used to be one called Snake Alley, and I don't think they do they used to cut open the live snakes here and sort of taunt tourists and have live turtles that they would serve, and that was the Longshan temple, yes, and now they don't do that as much anymore. They mostly focus on seafood, but I've actually never eaten in this market before. I'm not sure if I totally recommend these ones for tourists, because I don't know how clean they are. I've heard some of them aren't super as clean as some of the other markets, but I've never been sick here, just to let you know. Eating all of the street food and food out of food stalls and that, I've never ever been sick in Taiwan. So I know in Singapore they used to have a lot of stalls and things, and then they got rid of those and made the hawker centers because they wanted to control the environment and make sure everybody had clean water. And I think that's why a lot of people from Singapore like to come here, because it's like what Singapore used to be. Singapore used to apparently have lots of markets like this and food stalls and things, and they don't anymore. And Taiwan still has it. And people from Singapore of course they're foodies there, they're food aficionados because they have such great food there. They like to come here for different things that they can't get there, different flavors, and some of the same dishes but cooked differently. So this is one of the night markets, right? As you see, it just took me less than a minute to walk over here. And this is a very busy market right now in the daytime. And normally these markets don't get really going until night, but they might have even started a little bit early because of the holiday. It's really safe, yeah. So this market actually is this fairly large market, and it goes on about 3 other streets as well that you can walk up and down. And it's a mixture of food and merchandise, clothing, and you see caps here, and some of the specialties like sausages. You always see these everywhere. Pork sausages in Taiwan are a total specialty here. Anybody looking for a red dress? There you go. And lots of shirts and pants and lottery tickets. Yes, people are buying lottery tickets today. I'm going to show you some food. You bet. It looks like a swap meet. Well, this is a very kind of not as organized market as some. It's kind of a little more out there. I don't even know how. These are kind of like mochi. These are like a sticky rice, and then they roll it in like a sweet peanut powder. Okay. And it's a nice dessert treat. Mochi is kind of a Japanese treat, but they make them here in Taiwan a little bit differently. And you can get these pancakes everywhere here as well. And I know it's kind of a crazy hodgepodge market here. I've actually never scoped from here before. I've scoped from all of the markets, farmers market, thrift shop. Yeah, and I don't even, half of these people that are selling here, it might be illegal too. And if they are, all of a sudden you'll see them sort of running with their merchandise to get away from the police, because the police will write them up, give them a ticket. And squid is everywhere here in Taiwan. It's really delicious. You can get it deep fried or grilled. This one looks like it's grilled. These great big huge squid. They call them yoyu. And lots of fried food. And lots of Japanese style snacks as well. And this is like dried stuff. People will like rehydrate later. These are dried squid, and they'll use them for soup and braising and different things, flavoring soups and stuff. And more grilled squid. And yeah, this is everywhere. Like good squid is just everywhere. These are wheel pies. This is a traditional snack here in Taiwan. People sell bootleg DVDs on every corner. Yeah, I think there's a stall here that sells it too. But this is a wheel pie. They're very famous here. They fill them with like a sweet red bean. Some they do with chocolate, different flavors. And it's kind of nice. Actually, most of the night market scoping I do is at night. So it's kind of nice I've got the light here to really show you some of the things. This is an item that's in a lot of night markets as well. It's like a rotisserie corn, and it's quite good. They cook it, roast it with like different like hoisin or soy sauce, and they roast it for a while, and it has kind of a crunchy texture to it and sweet, and it's really quite good, chewy. That's the other thing about the food here is lots of textures are used in food, lots of flavors balanced, and I always miss it when I go away. When I go away and I'm traveling, I always miss the food from here. You're hungry now? Good. And see, there's corn everywhere. I think there's a good profit margin on corn and donuts. And the crab stall's not set up yet, but this market here, they sell a lot of seafood at this market, I've noticed before. And then this looks like sweet potato or digua. Yep, sweet potato. And people love sweet potatoes here. You don't see regular potatoes cooked here much, but you do see roasted sweet potatoes here a lot. Digua. And they do have amusement games here too, so it kind of might remind you a little bit of a country fair as well. People come here for entertainment, and it's an outdoor culture because for most of the year it's fairly warm here, so people like to be outside a lot and socialize. I speak very little. I speak a little bit, but very little. I can understand some things and speak just a little, but I'm not a conversationalist for sure. I still have a lot of work to do there, and I haven't been studying lately, but it's something that I strive for sure, at least in my head. And chestnuts, you can see. And these things always crack me up. I don't know why, but these great, massive sausages. And I think this is the I don't know if these are a bunch of CDs or DVDs here as well. Somebody was mentioning that. And then this is another street of just food mostly. It's there's a few reasons why it's difficult for Westerners, especially because we do actually, believe it or not, we have tones in say English language, like we say why. But they have 5 tones in Mandarin that you have to learn, and if you don't, you can say the word, but if you don't use the proper tone, people won't know what you're saying. It'll just sound like blah, 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 a little garbly. So they do have fresh seafood here as well, but no more snakes or turtles that I know of. And this looks like a pretty good seafood bar. They've got like lots of nice stuff here. Well, I don't know. Like of course, your meat is always can be an issue if it's been sitting around for a while. So if stuff's freshly cooked, it's usually no problem. Things have differently. Like the word ma. If you say ma, you can say ma 5 different ways, and it means something completely different each time. So like I said, I don't know. I don't even know if I've ever eaten at this market. I usually don't come down to this market to eat. But meat is always something that you have to be a little cautious of. You have to make sure that it's been cooked. It's not sitting around. That's the stuff that where the bacteria can build up. But I mean, bacteria can be in anything. But this part of the market is just starting to open up now. And this part here, I think they sell more seafood here. So you can see some of the fresh seafood that they sell. There's some fresh crab and all kinds of different fish. And all you don't even have to speak Chinese. If you just come to one of these stalls, you can just point what you want, and then they'll get out a calculator and show you how much it will cost. So it's not hard, even if you don't speak the language, to order food here, because a lot of times it'll just be out in the open like that, and you just point at what you want, and then they'll just tell you how much it's going to cost. And everybody here is pretty honest. You know, there's some countries in Southeast Asia, you just got to watch yourself a little bit with the scales and things. But here everybody's pretty honest. Food, well, relative to where, that would be the question. So I think overall food here is pretty reasonable. I mean, you can eat cheap here if you want. You can eat for you can eat a dinner for $3 or $4. People don't try to take advantage of you, know, especially if you're a tourist. They don't. They're really honest people here. So yeah, you can eat a meal here for $3 or $4. You can also go out and spend $100 or $200 on a meal here quite easily too. So, but there's a variety of food. I'll tell you that in Taipei, most people eat out at least 4 times a week because it's that affordable. I don't have a kitchen, so I don't cook. I am a cook. I think I'm a pretty good cook, but I don't cook here. So I eat out all the time. So it's affordable to eat out here. It wouldn't be in a Western city, say in Canada or the United States, as affordable as it is here. So and I'm just kind of walking in between a line of food stalls and other stuff, and you can see that this market is it's just kind of, people are just setting up some things as well, because most of them are at night. But I'm actually surprised that there's as much stuff going on here right now, but I think it's because of the holiday. Maybe some of the vendors have set up a little bit early. But there are, as you can see, there's thousands of people here. And thank you so much for the monkeys. It's the year of the monkey, and if you missed the earlier part of the scope, you watch the replay, because we've got the mayor of Taipei was on. I was lucky enough to bump into him, so he was greeting everybody outside the Longshan temple in Taipei. And right now we're just at the night market in Wunhao district, which is a very famous old district of Taipei, one of the oldest districts in the city. Oh, that's really nice of you to say that. Thank you so much. So I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, but you can see some other things too. There's a close up of some donuts. Now they look pretty good. It's like they look pretty damn good. I love that close up of that guy. Yeah, lots of stuff for sale here. Now some of these things you got to know what you're doing when you're buying, like some of this stuff they call jade or whatever. Yeah, I should. I will later. I ate before I left. But it's the second day of the new year. Fake jade. Hi, Finland. Yeah, I don't know. I just know you got to know your stuff when you buy things like that anywhere, because the quality varies so much, and the workmanship as well. Happy New Year to you, my friend. 新年快乐. Sorry you can't be here. You would love it. You would love it. This is everybody's in obviously a good mood. It's a festive time of year. It's like Christmas, you know, for them. And it's the most important holiday of the year, and it's a long holiday too. So some people have 9 days off, but there's 5 public holidays all this week. And some people have to work. I mean, the stores are open, retail's open, and you can obviously all these shops are. And this is, here's some monkeys for you, monkey spotting. Because they'll be selling lots of these this year. People love the monkey. Oh, thanks so much. And these are all the decorations that people buy for the Lunar New Year, you can see here. And this is money, sort of sign of money. I know, I love monkeys too. Hi. 新年快乐 Happy New Year. So I'm just making my way out of this market here, and it's yeah, it's very crowded in the middle of the day. These markets usually really don't start going until after 5 or 6 p.m. So it's a lot of people here, but it shows you that a lot of people are still, you know, on vacation. Oh, well, that's really nice. I think everybody's great, but thank you. That's really kind of you to say that. I also, yeah, I get stares. It depends on where you go. I mean, people are staring at me right now. And it's because also I'm tall. So I'll get a lot of people coming up to me and kind of like making a motion. They'll go, Te Hanga, like you're tall. And I'll go, Wa Hanga, and they'll laugh. So I get a lot of it's because I'm tall. 6'4", so I get stares of that. But it depends on the part of the country you go to. In Taipei is not as much, but if you go to northern Taiwan or southern Taiwan, where there's not as many foreigners, and there's not a lot of Westerners here. It's like Hong Kong has a lot of expats. In Taiwan, there's very small population of expats here. So yeah, I mean, some places yes, and some places no. But typically, the smaller the place you go to, the more stares you're going to get. But mostly, you know, you get people, the odd person being kind of stupid, but most people are pretty welcoming here. They're very friendly. And the place where they had the earthquake in Tainan, I have to tell you, is one of the friendliest cities in all of Taiwan. Whenever I visit there, I always meet wonderful people, and I get treated to dinners and drinks and you know, strangers, you know, just welcoming me in. So you know, people are really friendly in these places, and so if you get a stare, it's not a bad thing, and it does show you that, you know, I mean, many people here, you know, in North America, where I come from, you do get treated like a king, yeah. You know, we live in a multicultural society, so we're used to diversity, and here is not so much. So there's good and bad with that, but you do get treated quite well, and people are very friendly. They like foreigners. You know, for many, they don't travel or can't, so it's a way for them to travel as well by talking to you or getting to practice their English or something like that. So you can see, like, and if you see the street beyond me, I mean, there's this crosswalk here. That's in front of the Longshan temple where all of the yellow lanterns are, and beyond that is it's busier there too. Yeah. Many people say hello. It's hard to get used to people being so friendly. What does that say about where you come from too? Hey, I mean, but yeah, no. People are they're really friendly, and it's a very safe place. So you can, you know, come to Taiwan or Taipei, and you can feel really comfortable and safe here. And as I said, as I'm walking and talking, now of course I'm walking with a phone and talking into it. People are going to stare no matter where you are. But as I'm doing this, I'm getting lots of people looking at me. So but it's all very friendly. People love it, and if you speak a little bit of Mandarin to them, they just absolutely really love it. They love you. Like if you say Happy New Year to them or something in Mandarin, they love it. So Happy New Year to you, 新年快乐. See what I mean? See what I mean? So it's just that's just the way people are here. So, and that happens all the time. So I'm just going to walk you back out in front of the temple. And please, if you do have time, check out my podcasts. I do an audio and video podcast, both on iTunes, called FarEastAdvTravl. And I just loaded a new audio podcast up on a trip I took into northern Cambodia to see the gibbon there in the wild. And it was an incredible trip, and that's just released out today. And it's on iTunes, or you can go to my website, FarEastAdvTravl.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Yep, thank you. I got to go too. Okay, thank you so much from Taipei. 新年快乐. 谢谢，拜拜。